H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the entire world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And it's a great baby Friday. It's Thursday for everybody else, but it's a Friday for me and Jimmy. Because guess what? It's no show on Friday. So this is our baby Friday. But we're going to start the show off with talking about our starting five. Those are the five people that signs up to the fees first. Starting five. And today, Rod Wells, Todd Holmes, Chris Charles, Thaddeus Moody, Kim Jackson, and that sixth man is Derek Johnson, all the way from Germany. He up this morning. Derek, we kept you up late last night. But y'all, was a great Thursday. A lot of stuff to talk about. I watched a high school game last night. I got a chance to watch a high school game last night. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. First of all, I want to shout out to these guys, Mikey Miles and Kay Cunningham from Dallas area. Saw those two guys battle last night, man. What's up, Corey Willis and Corey with a E and Corey with a Y? Y'all, I saw some last night, man, with these two guys TCU versus Oklahoma State. And unique game. Two guys that grew up together, been teammates, I think, on and off since the third grade. Supposed to be best friends. I don't know. Nobody told me that, but the announcer kept saying that. But Tyandra Holmes, these two young guys, they competed against each other like they didn't know each other. They was going at each other like homeboy. I mean, and that's what I saw last night, y'all. Y'all know I usually wait to these games, but I saw Atascocita and Summer Creek. Intense game. I see why those two teams are two of the top two teams in the country. In the city. Let me tell you something. I didn't see nobody that's gonna break the top 100 in the polls. I mean, in the national polls. But let me tell you something. Those guys got after each other. They probably know it. Hey, the reason I'm paralleling this, because they remind me of the Kay Cunningham and Mikey Miles situation. Those schools are not separated that far apart. So these guys probably know each other. And those guys got after, on every single play. And I was just thinking about something, y'all. But one thing I wanted to tell the parents, Tyandra and Kenneth Lofton. There's too many of y'all in there last night, man. Now, the parents, I understand y'all going to y'all son's game. It's too crowded in there last night, man. And yes, I'm going to say it. It's too damn crowded in there. All of you people who don't have to be there, see a parent, yes, they gonna want to see their son. But all you people who don't have to be there, y'all didn't have to be there. Let me tell you what was issued yesterday. And I noticed something. Kevin Freidman. I tweeted something else out. People liked it. But when I tweeted, I retweeted or liked what the mayor said. Nobody tweeted but one person. Nobody liked it. Check this out, Kevin Lofton. The mayor said, Houston, please continue to wear your mask. COVID-19 is very active within our city. Let's avoid large gatherings. For those who are holiday shopping, let's do it safe and a safe manner and mask up. And I said, Mayor, thank you. You need to say that a little louder. This before I saw the game. Nobody. I got one, somebody liked it. Yo, I can't tell y'all what to do. But Fun. I enjoyed the game by watching it online. I got a chance to watch Kane Cunningham. I got a chance to watch Damon Dotson started last night. One of Houston's own started for the Cleveland Cavaliers last night against his old team. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just sitting there. Now, listen to me. I want to see y'all. When this thing is over, I just want to see y'all around. If your ass didn't have to be at them games, man, stay at home so those parents and those kids can be safe. All of you guys that didn't have to be at the game, bless y'all. Tell them I said it. I don't care about nobody getting mad at me. I'm like, what's the boy name? What Brandon Mac be saying? Whatever he said. I don't care about these son of a. Yeah, but hey, come on, man. Hey, Brandy, come on, man. Yo, we can do better than that. Wasn't no social distance. You lying sack of shit if you text me and say it was social distance last night. Was not. I'm sitting there saying, these folks, what the hell is going on? If you just joined in, Brandy, I saw the game between Atascocita and Summer Creek last night. And Brandy, it was too many people in there. Yes, Keisha Stewart, I know you was in there, but you're a parent. Listen to me. I understand that parents are there. But all of you guys who your ass ain't got nothing to do with nothing, you ain't family, y'all don't have to be there. Now you're putting the kids at risk and the parents at risk. I tweeted it, Akisa. Listen, and I'm going to repeat it to the people. The mayor said, hold on. Houston, please continue to wear your mask. COVID-19 is very active within our city. Please avoid large gatherings. And I turn on the TV, I turn on my computer, pay for the service so I can see the high school game, and I see all of those damn people in there breathing all on each other. Spectators, I'm talking to y'all. I ain't talking to the parents. Parents, go see your babies. Spectators, stay y'all ass at home, man. Because y'all just in the damn way. It's in the way. Let me get off that soapbox, man. And let me tell y'all something. And while I'm here, that Baller TV has got to be the worst piece of mess anybody ever put together and made some money off people. Because I've never subscribed to it. One of the worst situations ever. People like that don't need to be in business, y'all. Cancel your damn subscriptions to that mess. Nothing never worked. I tried to see the game the other night between Sunrise Christian and Legacy. Can't see it. These people always come back later. We having problems. You're having problems every damn game. Every time I want to see a game. It's a joke, and people still paying for that mess. But parents, y'all stay y'all ass. Excuse me, not parents. Spectators, stay y'all at home, man. Man, I want to be able to see these young kids. I want to be able to see their parents at the end of the season. But at the rate we going, packed in a gym like that, and see, what kills me about people, well, if they ain't made me stay at home, they ain't made me that. They got to make me stay in before I start doing it. Come on, man. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Hey, man. Listen to me, man. In this basketball community, I understand. Jimmy already told me this shit is crack to y'all. Y'all got to have it. He been getting y'all. He said it's been Blue Magic. It's the best dope in town. I understand that. I like basketball as much as y'all. Y'all understand who one of my favorite kids to watch play basketball. I have not stepped in a gym to watch him play, not once. And I'm considered family. Because you know what? I care about him. I care about his parents. I care about the people around me. I care about the people that I love. I want to be around a little bit longer. It's people depend on me to be around. Unlike Jimmy and Doug and them, that's their job. They have to be there. Robert Hatter don't have to be there. I had several situations with my job. I had to be there. I didn't get on no plane. Guess what? They sent me an RV. The RV took me there. Hey man, we got to be smarter, y'all. This stuff is serious. And it's hurting us. But back to them kids, though. Let me tell y'all something. Wow. Let me tell you something. I see why a lot of teams going to have problems with them two teams. Those young men play harder than any high school basketball game I've seen this year. Those kids right there, if we could put what's inside of those kids on those two teams right there and bottle it and put it inside of some of these other kids, we'll be fine. Sitting there watching. See, some of the guys I've been seeing, they too damn cool. They got too many cool-ass teammates on their team. Anissaville, I've seen too many cool. There's a couple of kids, man. I just want, dude, who are you playing this stuff for? Because it definitely, you ain't playing this to get no scholarship. You must be playing this because a little girl like that you on the team or something. Let me tell you something. Those young men last night fought hard. I mean, I didn't even know none of these kids. I know one guy, Caleb Stewart. His mama is always on the show. I don't know the other kids. But guess what? A couple of them caught my eye. I'm trying to find it. A couple of them caught my eye. This Amory kid, number 4, he caught my eye. Caleb, big buckets at the end of the game. And the dudes was in his face at the free throw line, passed by him and bumped him and everything. I saw everything on TV. Who is this guy named Goodman? Jalen Goodman. He hit 2 big threes. Tell Jalen, boy. Tell Jalen. But that was for the other team. Y'all got to understand. Both of these guys played so good. The guys on the losing team was about number 15 for the losing team, for Shadow Creek. Allen. Tell Allen I like him. Somebody tell him. Tell Mr. Allen. See, let me tell y'all something, man. I enjoyed watching them guys that play like Duncanville's play. And I know the culture. And let me tell you something. I know them coaches. Let me tell you something. I know the culture. So I know the guys who are around those programs that help those kids. Yeah, what is his name? Big Reese. Y'all call him Big Reese. Okay, Allen. I love Allen. I love Allen. But Ricky Scott, it just made me proud because I haven't been proud of the high school basketball I've been watching this year on tape. I haven't been proud. If you notice, I haven't even been talking about them. Haven't. But these young kids last night, they stepped up and played hard, man. Speaking of playing hard, my alma mater, right? We've been missing a guy, okay? and Jimmy's on the screen now. We've been missing a guy, DeAndre Williams, from this area. He came in last night for his first, because Jimmy, I guess that rule yesterday that all kids are eligible if they're eligible academically. So DeAndre Williams played for Memphis for the first time. They've been making him sit out, whole lot of crap. Walter McCarthy with that old bush. Jimmy, I know Walter McCarthy, some of that Walter McCarthy shit. Excuse my language. And that's why it took him so long to be eligible. But he came in, he changed the way Memphis played in one game. If he were played in the beginning of the season, Memphis would be undefeated right now. He came in with an attitude like them young guys at Atascocita and those young guys at Summer Creek. Jimmy, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I didn't need you for this one. I saw this with my own 2 eyes last night. And y'all, Summer Creek in Atascocita.
Who streamed it?
The Sumner Network, Mindy hooked me up with, man. That high school football net, high school basketball net, something, because that's how I watch Hightower games. And guess what, y'all? I just clicked over. I clicked in Summer Creek. I clicked in Atascocita, and then it popped up. I said, wow. So, Jimmy, I had all the TVs working.
How much it cost?
$10 a summer, man. I don't care.
Okay.
Guess what? I was going to cut it off. Because I said by next month, I'm going to be coming to the game. I'm going to keep messing with them people, man. I'm going to keep messing with them people.
What you mean cut it off? What you mean?
Because I was going to start, I thought I was going to be able to start going to the game. I just needed to see Hightower at one time. That's what I got it for. To see Hightower. I couldn't make it to the game. I wasn't going to come, and I got it to see Hightower. Let's get this straight. And I didn't know I could see Bush and all of that. I said, I could see Tyler. I said, hold up. I'm going to go and let them people keep on charging me and keep on NFHS. $10 a month, Jimmy. Hey, let me tell you something.
Oh, so it's $10 a month or not $10 for a game?
No, $10 a month.
Oh, that's a good lick.
A month. But for you know I would have paid $10 a month a game for a Bryce. But for Bryce. Yes, I would have. I'm sorry. But guess what though? But those two teams last night, Jimmy, let me tell you something. Those two are my favorite. Hey, I love those two. But Jimmy, you know why I love them? Jimmy, I've been watching so many basketball games that have been uninspiring. People been getting beat by 100, 50s and 60s and 40. I'm tired of watching that mess. And then I go and watch Oklahoma State, Jimmy, and TCU play last night. And Cade Cunningham and Mikey Miles went at it like they didn't even know each other. I said, and then I saw these young guys. Then I saw DeAndre Williams. Parents, this thing is about attitude. This thing is about all of that cool ass, pulling your pants down and pulling them up out. Let me tell you something, man. Y'all got to go back. Somebody need to get that video and send that to every damn coach in this city. Everybody's supposed to be playing like that, Jimmy. And I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to take up 20 minutes of your time. But when I see something, y'all, let me tell you something. That's what I tell y'all about on this show. When I see something that's out, let me tell you something, Jimmy. I shouldn't even be talking about this. But playing hard is so out of the ordinary around this city. I got to give these boys props. Jimmy, you give me a roster. I want everybody on that team. I don't care if you didn't play. I saw the guys on the bench cheering their guys on. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, Jimmy. But Jimmy, I must admit, too many damn people in that building. Sylvester Turner told y'all no large gatherings. It's some Houston Texans finna get fined. The Texans finna get fined because your boy Deshaun Watson opened a little a restaurant, and these not so smart players who not supposed to gather 3 or more of them in a gathering, taking pictures and have to post every damn thing. Yo, you don't have to post every damn thing.
Well,
but I just want you to hear that, man.
I want to back up a little bit.
Okay, back up. I'm sorry.
Cedar and Shadow Creek game.
Yes, sir.
Tascasita and Summer Creek.
Creek. Yeah.
These teams are both arch rivals.
Okay.
In Humble ISD.
Okay.
Both of these teams are very, very good. Either one of these teams could very well, because they're expected to come in first and second in their district. So you know what that means? That means first and second will be on opposite sides of the playoff bracket. These two teams could very well meet. I'm just telling you, Summer Creek plays that hard. Remember, this is the same Summer Creek team who beat Dallas Fate Family a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
This team plays hard. The thing is, a lot of these kids grew up together. This is a real arch rivalry. These kids grew up, for the most part, they grew up in elementary school, middle school, and some of them are live right on the borderline, could have went to either one.
Okay.
Tascasita or Summer Creek. Mind you, Coach Coleman he's in his third year. There are some of the kids on the Tascasita's roster that is zoned to Summer Creek. But they chose to. Remember, Kevin Woods was there when these kids that are 12th graders were in the 9th grade. Some of these kids, Kevin Woods was coming in as a young coach, first, second time head coach at Level North Forest, come over to Summer Creek. He didn't have a stroke to be able to lure the kids to Summer Creek over David Martinez luring them to a Tascasita. At that time. He was just learning the lay of the land. So now Coach Coleman actually lives
in that area,
in the Summer Creek schools attendance zone.
Okay.
So that's why they got one freshman that starts, and another freshman plays a nice chunk of minutes.
Is that the fresh? Yeah, they got one. He leads he kind of long. He leads the break. He's the point man on the break because he got long arms.
He played with the Team Fox during the summer. Grassroots in the grassroots team. That's Team Fox under the name, operated by Aaron Fox, the father of De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
But what my point I want to get to is this Summer Creek team. Here's the thing. Let's congratulate Tascasita.
Oh yes,
because this was understand, coming off of that huge emotional win over Shadow Creek last week at the Fertitta Center. Let me explain to you guys something. If it's any team that's battle tested, see, one thing you can go and say who all you've played, but if you've played top caliber teams and got ran out the gym, that don't move the needle for me. And I've explained that to you guys yesterday.
Right.
You go back and watch yesterday's show. It don't. Now, it may be for you. You may understand. I ain't into giving participation medals.
Right.
That ain't what I do.
Right.
Some people like that. That's a new era. I understand it. Each his own. But a Tascasita is beating Shadow Creek. They just beat Summer Creek. They beat Westfield. They beat Hightower.
Yes.
They beat Bush. They beat Manville. They beat all these guys, and we ain't but 1 month into the season.
Dude, so they just make plays, Jimmy.
Understand something, Hal.
Go.
Tascasita. They they're still in football playoffs, Hal. They got a starter on the football field and another.
Get the hell out of here.
Player. Yes.
They got a starter on the football field.
I mean, Tascasita's roster is so interchangeable. That even last night, I didn't go to the game. Of course, it was date night. Doug Jones was going, and Jeffrey Day was supposed to get there.
I saw every minute
so
of it.
I didn't even go there. I took the night. I told you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
But I did read the report that Doug Jones posted in RCS Sports in the VIP news this morning, and I read the report, and I can go deeper into the report, and it showed me, and also somebody sent me a copy of the score sheet. Understand something. Those score sheets only mean so much, but to a person, as I explained to you guys before, understand something. I was a statistician for the basketball team when I was in high school. I was a baseball star. So I played basketball a little bit up to about 10th grade. Understand? So I understand all that. But then you own it. But I was a statistician. That meant I loved the game of basketball so much. I kept rebounds, assists, points, turnovers, steals for every player on Cashmere High School varsity team. Anybody that went there back in the early 80s know that. I was the one-man band for that. Didn't realize, and it wasn't a quest to try to do that in college because baseball was my college. But these guys that we grew up that I'm doing it for, I had enough enough cool points, enough popularity. So it was just a way to still hang out with the basketball guys.
Yeah, and Daryl Morey turned your passion into a business.
Yes, but at the same time, if I would have been just that nerd that didn't play sports, you see, I would have probably pursued that on through. Yeah, I was that good with it. Hell, do you know that it's hard to do all those stats for one team at the same time? And this is a 10th grader. Dude. Now, I didn't have the time to do it in 11th and 12th grade, but in like the 9th and the 10th grade, that's what I did. And so now back to this stuff in regards to Atascocita. But my point I want to make to you guys, this is the funniest thing in the world. Hightower High School lost to Atascocita, their very first game. I told you guys that was a trap game. But guess what? Coach Woods took the game, felt, let's go on and get it out there. We're going to play. Now you see, this same Atascocita done dumped every team they've played. They beat Hightower.
Hey, Jimmy, and that's the game they said they hit 70-some% of their threes in the beginning of the game.
No. They're one of the best. They're one of the best perimeter shooting teams in the state.
Yeah.
Atascocita is. Because any given night, as I mentioned,
all of them can shoot.
Yes. And that's the whole thing about it. And they're buying in. They bought in. Understand something. You have kids that was on varsity on Atascocita's team right now that was on varsity in the 10th grade. They're in the 12th grade now and barely can touch the floor. Think about that. How frustrating that must be for some people. Now back to this. Hightower loses to Atascocita. You know what happens in the city? People start to question the potency of Hightower. And I'm telling you,
you said something key. I heard you. You said, man, Hightower's still gonna beat all them folks in 5A. You said Atascocita is that damn good. But see, I didn't know.
Then Hightower goes and they loses to to Shadow Creek. So they lose to Shadow Creek.
Another
team. Undefeated at the time. And Shadow Creek loses to Atascocita by 3 at a neutral court. So Hightower loses to Shadow Creek. And mind you, people throw Hightower on the side of the road. Man, they ain't that good. I say no. And I'm telling you guys, stop that. I'm not going to even feed into that mess. Just because they lost to those two teams. Those are two teams that could very well go to state. Well, either one of them, they're in the both 6A classification. Atascocita, Shadow Creek. You're going to sit there and just because Hightower lose, now you're like, oh, man, them dudes going to be there. Guess what? Put it like this. Adam, I've seen Hightower play. I understand Hightower don't have a whole lot of octane coming off the bench. They have to rely on a freshman. Summer Creek have to rely on. They're not the only team that's relying on a freshman. Mm-hmm. But they do have one of the top 3 seniors in Greater Houston. They got the top junior, arguably in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
You put understand something. When you got 2 premium prospects, you could put the 7 dwarfs with them. They will compete if those leaders are competing.
Okay.
That's why one of the things now people get to see it. It was like, man, I remember a couple of last that Gypsy Prep or run them dudes out the bill. I'm like, now you looking back on it. Hightower beat Gypsy Prep? Probably not. But would they have been up by 25? Nah. because the fight inside of some people, and some people are seasoned for bright lights. Yeah. Some people hadn't been in those headlights before. Them 100-watt bulbs it ain't the same. They have a different effect on your eyeballs than it does others. That's why I just wanted to make sure people. So don't act like, sure, Beaumont United is is a team to beat in 5A. Absolutely. But at the same time, Hightower is the reigning Region 3 champs. And I'm gonna tell you something. They a team that nobody wants to play in those playoffs.
They're getting better every day, Coach. And Coach, they couldn't practice. I mean, no excuse. But I remember you said that was their first game, but they couldn't practice for a long time due to COVID reasons too. But I can talk about it now, but you couldn't talk about it then. But Jimmy, Ray Moore, a high school coach in Memphis, Tennessee, he said, we don't have no high school basketball in Memphis. Only private schools. The regular schools can't play. This is first year in 30 years not coaching a team in Memphis. Houston, we got it good. Stay your ass out them gyms. If you ain't in, hold up, Jimmy, and this was my plea. Parents, go to the gym and see your kids. But all of you Negroes who don't have to be in them gyms, stay out the gym. Jimmy and Doug and the videographers, we need them. They're essential workers. But you just to go to suck up the bad air that's in there, it was too many damn people in that game. We're going to be shut down like Memphis. Memphis don't even have, this man has been a coach for 30 years. He can't coach his team. That's all I'm trying to say, man. Y'all just, if you don't have to be there, pay the $10. Stay at them damn gyms. What else you got, Jim? Because we got Adam Coleman. We got Adam in the green room. We like to get crunk up before we bring Adam in.
We go to break and get Adam, or we're going to bring him right on in right now.
Yeah, we're bringing him in now. Yeah, hey, Adam.
Of course, without further ado, we're giving you guys your weekly dose of Adam Coleman with the Houston Chronicle. And Adam, I mentioned the word football playoffs a while ago. They are well underway in the 5A and 6A classification. The 4A classification, those guys are getting ready to go to state, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. The small schools getting ready to go to state. Man, let me just say, I love this show. I love y'all. Keep it real on here, man. I'll be listening to y'all before I be coming on. I don't know how many times. I love this show, man.
Thank you, man.
Y'all keep it a buck on here, man. So I love coming on here. No, but getting back to on topic. Yeah, the small schools are in the middle of the state championships this week. And we didn't really have a Houston area team in there this week. So that's another thing. Man, I was kind of cheering for Corpus Christi Miller. They got a quarterback who's going to Texas Southern, and that kid is he's like the fifth highest career all-time passing leader in Texas. And I think that's so dope. I wanted to go. Yeah, they missed it by one game. I wanted to go and check him out, but that's a big time deal. But yeah, small schools are in Dallas. They're playing right now, and of course the big schools, they're in the middle of the area around a lot of big games this weekend. So COVID or no COVID, we getting through it, man. We getting through it.
But Adam, the reason I was Adam, the mayor came out and gave a statement yesterday, Adam, and I want you to help me with this. He gave a statement and said, "Hey, man, no lies gathering because it's some stuff going on here, y'all. Y'all can't see. It's some stuff going on." And then I turned on that game last night, Adam. They act like it's 2001. They was packed in there.
Yeah, man. Ultimately, it's been like this the whole time. Ultimately, it's up to the people to kind of make those decisions and to stay safe. But it's hard, man. I think I was talking with y'all maybe a couple months ago about how you go to some of these small towns and it wasn't 50% capacity. It was more like 80%. And all huddled together. It's just, and again, it's the culture. People are just real resistant of trying to accept anything, that kind of takes away the norm. And obviously Texas high school football is a huge part of the norm here. So yeah, you're going to see it, man. You might see it at state. You might see it at NRG. It'll be interesting when playoff teams start playing the NRG or UH, it'll be interesting to kind of see what those crowds look like, and how people social distance. So it is what it is, man. But that responsibility is on the public, just to kind of social distance themselves and stay safe.
Well, speaking of social distancing, one thing about it is that a lot of various stadiums have various rules in their neutral site, and many of these playoff games are in neutral sites, right? And and a lot of them have various regulations and protocol in place, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which one has the weirdest set of protocol that you know about?
Well, for high school stadiums, they're all kind of the same. And 50% capacity, social distance. I think from the media perspective, and y'all might go through this a little bit, but we kind of dealt with it where you go to some stadiums and you're not allowed in the press box. So you kind of have to sit in the crowd. Yeah. Or they'll give you a sideline pass. You can be on the sideline, or it's they won't let you on the sideline at all. So that's different when you're trying to go interview kids or interview coaches. They won't let you anywhere. So different districts are handling it in different ways. I will say we're fortunate though, like working for the paper, a lot of districts have kind of helped and worked with us a little bit, but they kind of cut it down on maybe recruiting sites or some other places where they won't let them in just because they're trying to keep capacity low in the press box. So that's one thing that we've been dealing with. And going to your point, Jim, is just I'm curious, what NRG is going to do for high school games, because I know teams want to play there starting in the next round and kind of moving forward. So I'm curious kind of what the restrictions are there. If it's different from Texans, maybe the same, things of that sort. So that's something to watch for sure.
Well, speaking of watch, what are the top playoff games around Greater Houston this weekend? You got Class 6A. Let's start with them first. Region 1. That's the region that North Shore is placed in, right? They're the favorite to emerge out of that region. What are some of the top games to see? And who the hell is North Shore? Who's on their menu this week?
Yeah, the menu. They play Dawson tonight. And man, I was just talking to somebody earlier. I think North Shore is really, really excited about this game. Both teams are undefeated. This might be the best opponent.
North undefeated?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I don't think people know that. They're 10-0. Yeah, they beat Shadow Creek, won the district. Dawson is good. Dawson is good, man. So I think this is a challenge North Shore has kind of really been looking forward to for a couple of weeks, man. They've been cruising, they've been coasting. Last really, really close game they played was like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. So I think they're really looking forward to this challenge. And of course, Dawson is looking forward to, trying to shock the world a little bit, So, I think that's going on tonight. I don't think it's the best game this weekend. Best game this weekend to me is Cy-Fair and Tompkins, and that's tomorrow at Legacy, I believe. So yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to. And the winners of those two games I just mentioned play each other. So the winner of that Cy-Fair Tompkins game probably leaves that game feeling like, hey, we can beat North Shore. We have some confidence. They probably feel like, hey, we can beat North Shore. So that's what I love about those two matchups, man. Just heavyweights going at it. Jalen Milroe at Tompkins, he just signed with Alabama yesterday. Signing day was yesterday, so that.
Which one is the quarterback?
That's one with the tattoos, right?
Tompkins.
Love him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's big time player, man. Big time player, man. And of course, you talk about the quarterbacks in this class: Demetrius Davis from North Shore, Kyron Jones from Baylor. And then you talk about Jalen Milroe from Tompkins. I'm real interested to see how their college careers are going to end up, going, just because they're all so talented, all going to great programs. And two of them got to state championships, and Jalen is working on trying to get there. So, again, man, just a real fun weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun this week.
And now, also, you mentioned signing date was yesterday.
Yeah.
And did any of the local kids, what they call it when they have a word for it now when you commit to one school but sign with another school? What is the word they call it now?
What you call it?
Well, flipping. Yeah, we say flipping.
Flipping.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the word. Yeah, okay.
Jimmy, you know what flipping is
from the area.
Yeah,
your ass know what flipping is, Jimmy. But I don't know what the hell you talking about.
No. I'm talking about with the terminology. We used to call it decommitting, but now they call it flipping.
They call it flip. They're like, hey, yeah. So you might hear a school say, hey, this school flipped this other kid, and you see that a lot. So yeah. So we didn't. So we saw a little bit of that this week. We didn't see it all happen in one day, but Joseph Manjack from Tomball Memorial, a kid is a beast, man. He decommitted from Washington State, and then he committed to USC. And then we had another kid, Dickinson, offensive tackle, Cannon Boone. He decommitted from Virginia Tech like 2 days ago, and then committed to Mississippi State. So you still do see that a lot. Now these days it's 2 signing periods, and basketball has always had that, right? They've always had the early signing period and the regular signing. So football is still kind of getting used to having 2 signing periods, and a lot of people felt like it would maybe take some of the excitement out of signing day, but you still see some kids flipping, decommitting, switching up, on that day, maybe causing a little bit of anger and excitement. You see adults tweeting recruits. You see that all the time. So you still see a little bit of that. The big one yesterday though was Tunmise Adelie from Tompkins, 4-star defensive end. He committed to Texas A&M. He was one of our top players in the area and state, and he was uncommitted. So that was a big one yesterday, and it's still like maybe 20 really, really good kids that are uncommitted, so, and they have until February to sign, obviously. So not done by any means.
Now let's go to the 5A rank. Well, I'm sorry, 6A region. Class Division 2. That's Katy is in there, and Shadow Creek is in there. Would that be a matchup? Can anybody knock off Katy in that region, in that Division 2?
Well, it probably Shadow Creek got the best chance. You just mentioned it, and I think I got to look at the bracket, but I think they would meet up if they both win this weekend's games. So that'd be a real crazy 3rd round matchup. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that. When people saw Katy, we talked about this last time I was on here. Mm-hmm. When people saw Katy drop to D2, I think a lot of people said, "Hey, go ahead and slot Katy in the state championship game." I think you got to give credit to this region, to this bracket. Shadow Creek is in this bracket. Heights is in this bracket.
Can Heights beat either one of them?
Man, I don't know, but I think Heights can beat Katy Taylor. I think and that's who they play this weekend. And
really,
and I think that's gonna be a real good game. And you kind of think about it, that would be so big for inner city football. Lamar plays Katy. Lamar's kind of been there and done that. But it would be just such a huge story to see Heights kind of get to the 3rd round. They won the playoff game, first time in a handful of years. Last week they beat Sock Creek, but it's just big time for inner city football to see that. But Katy Taylor is tough, man. They went to the state semifinal last year, but I think Heights definitely has a chance. But in this particular bracket, to answer your question, Jim, it's just it goes Katy, Shadow Creek, and then the field. And when you talk about the field, maybe a team like Heights can kind of jump up there and shock some people. So it's gonna be real interesting.
Well, I'm gonna go on the record right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call an upset tonight.
Okay.
Stephen King over Shadow Creek.
Ooh.
You gotta be out your rabbit mind. You gotta be out.
Let me tell you what. Hold on. See, King had a Atascocita beat to the last minutes of the game.
I remember that game.
I'm a Creek boy. I'm going with the Creek boy. Kyron Drones. That's all I can say.
I'm going with them if they get by the Seed King. This Seed King team, they got
Adam. I got a question for Adam. How good is Seed King's cornerbacks and safeties?
I would say they're pretty good. I feel like they're better offensively than they are.
Well, they better put on their track shoes. They better put on their track shoes.
They got some speed. They got speed.
But hey, they can't outrun the ball, Jimmy. Can't outrun the ball, baby. Kyron Drones. Pow, pow, pow. Yes, I'm a Creek boy. The Creek boy's in the building.
Hey, real talk. Like, Seed King is good. You can't just look past them. So to Jim's point, man, Seed King, real talented. They did have a Atascocita beat, and it was a tough district that they were in, man. So they They're a good team. So that's another good game, man. That's
Wait a
another
minute.
good game. But I think
Tascasita's still in the playoffs? They still in the playoffs, right?
yeah.
Yes.
So yeah,
Oh,
they're
that's
in
why we're
Division
waiting on
One.
the football player. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
so they play Pearland this weekend. So that's another big one. But yeah, C King, man, you know that I think with Shadow Creek, people
Jimmy
just feel like they're getting
hey,
healthy. They're getting better.
I know why Jimmy
just
said. Wait a minute. What school district C King is in? Adam. No. Adam, what school district is C King in?
Sheldon.
Sheldon.
Sheldon. Yeah.
Okay.
They're only high school in that district.
Guess who works in the Sheldon ISD district?
Who works in
Sandra
Sheldon?
Hicks, Jimmy White.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's right.
That makes sense. I wasn't trying to leave. I wasn't trying to leave Jimmy out there on his own. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, Jim. You know, C King is good. You know, I was trying to.
When I saw Stigling over there, I know what he was talking about.
Watch on Monday. On Monday, watch what happens, and you're gonna say, "Damn, Jimmy said this was gonna happen."
No.
Watch on Monday.
No.
Watch on Monday.
Hey.
Now let's go to 5A.
Okay.
In 5A, that classification is separated by two divisions as well. You have a Division 1, and right, in the Division 2, right?
Yes.
So locally in Region 3 is what most of the teams in Greater Houston is dwells in. Top games tonight in that. I know Big Ruben is in Region 3. Foster.
No, not you talking about Ruben Fothery, not
Ruben.
And Foster. I'm sorry. That's who I was just about to mention. Foster, man. Yeah, they took care of business in the last round. They played Goose Creek Memorial, and you know they've had kind of a little bit of a weird year with COVID. Like they've had they had some games where they were scheduled and then they got rescheduled, and then the weather hit. They played a non-district game against Travis, I think last week or a couple weeks ago, and that got stopped in the middle of the game because of rain. So they've had a weird week where you look at their record and it looked like they hadn't really played a full schedule, but. Don't be fooled, man. Foster, they can go to state, and you got Big Fella there who signed with Texas A&M yesterday, Ruben Fothery. Yeah, you got him. You got Cody Jackson, the receiver, going to Oklahoma. Yeah, this team Foster's always good, and they're just good again. They got a chance, man, to get to state for sure. So that's another one to watch. And then, man, you got Manville. You know they're playing big time ball. Hightower coming off a huge win over Port Arthur Memorial.
Hightower winning in football too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hightower good at football too. Yeah.
They don't have a winning. Huh? They don't have a winning record.
What'd you say? Jay?
They don't have a winning record.
They don't have a winning record.
So off that again, that's kind of COVID, a little bit of a weird year. In our chronicle, in our media rankings, we always had Hightower like in the top 10. We only do top 10 5A, but we always had Hightower ranked because I think like we know it's like Hightower. You know, we know they can play. Yeah, okay. So
I got
you might see their record and it looked a little like look like they took some losses, but they beat the Woodlands this year, early in the year, man. So they're good. They're good, and all it was for them was just getting to the playoffs. But yeah, how do they good in basketball, both girls and boys, and football, and they're gonna have track. So yeah, man. So
that's right.
They're everywhere over there. They're everywhere over there in Mo City. You already know how it is.
Right. Okay.
Speaking of one school we left out, the one thing about Region 3 and 5A, right now there's a combination of Greater Houston teams and combined with Austin area teams.
Yeah.
And so the same way in basketball. And we hoping that one of these Greater Houston teams can emerge out of this tough 5A classification. One team that's locally that we did not mention is a relatively new, only a couple of years under varsity football under their belt, and that's Payton out in KDISD.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. They got a running back that's out there giving people the blues.
Yeah. I think you're talking about Damon Bankston, man. Like the boys can ball, and the interesting thing to me about them is they remind you a little bit of maybe Shadow Creek or even Bridgeland. And we talked about this before on the show, where you have these new schools popping up and they're finding success immediately. or very soon. And that's what Pato is, man. Like they made the playoffs last year. They handled business in the playoffs last week. They played Baytown Lee, and you know they're a really really good program. BJ Gold is their coach. Played at Katy in the '90s, back when Katy's dynasty was kind of first building up. A lot of big time players, really good program. And yeah, man, they got a chance too. They definitely got. I would definitely not be surprised to you pop up maybe 2 weeks from now and they're still playing. You know, so
wow.
they definitely have a chance, man. They've been balling all year for sure.
One of the things I didn't that in Region 3 and going down to the Division 2 bracket of 5A is there's of course the team to beat down there is Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall is what back to back trips, state trips, what 2 of the last 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, and some crazy. I gotta look at the stat, but some kind of crazy stat where they've allowed like 27 total points in district play or something like that. They're still good. They still they still Marshall. That's all you need to know. It's still Marshall.
And they survived a near upset last week, I think. Thurgood Marshall. They also have a wide receiver with ironically his last name is Marshall, Chris Marshall. He's a basketball star that jumps out the gym. And I understand this guy done picked up Power 5 offer in his own first year playing football.
He's Chris Marshall. Oh yeah. USC and all the people. After this guy.
He got some major offers. Yeah, and I don't know as much about him on the basketball court, and so I wonder if he's a kid that's gonna have some options when you talk about. You know what I'm saying?
So, play football, baby.
Just play football. Yeah.
Well, see, understand. So, Adam, you see the wide receiver in this area, the tight end / wide receiver. A lot of those guys double down in basketball in Greater Houston. You mentioned a kid from one of the kids from Dickinson, receiver, I think, or tight end. He plays on the basketball team. And one of the things that think about it, this kid, Chris Marshall, if Ronnie Courtney had been the head coach at the beginning of the season, he may not have went to football. Understand this. And just think what he would have left on the table. There are athletes out there that if you see your recruitment being stagnant, and if you're about 6'2" or better, and you can you got some good bunnies, you might want to go put a chin strap on just to try it out.
I'm telling you.
It could change your life. Just think about it. This young man he had a lot of recruitment in basketball, but it wasn't from Power 5s.
Yeah, it wasn't like what he getting in football.
Absolutely not. You know, but now you can see the path.
It makes sense.
Well, we have a long string of wide receivers from this area that has made it to the NFL. A long string. Hell, guess what? If Jalen Waddle would have been at a different high school, he might have just kept playing basketball. Guess what? And he's not 6'2", but he has extreme
speed,
hops.
And that's what I told Derek Griffin. I don't know if you know Derek. And I told him, I said,
for sure.
I said, you're going to be a regular basketball player. They got basketball players look like you a dime a dozen. But when you walk your big ass on that football field, don't nobody look like you and can run that fast. I said, that's Antonio Gates. I never forget, he played at Kent State. He said, no, I'm going to put my hand in this dirt and went and had a Hall of Fame career. And hold up, don't stop there. Jimmy, you remember this boy Mo Alley Cox? The great defender from West Virginia? He playing in the NFL right now. Unbelievable, Adam. I just wanted to share that with y'all.
No, man.
Go on.
No, I was just saying, speaking on Derek Griffin, you want to talk about like top 5 freakish athletes out of the city. Like he was one of them. But yeah, to y'all point, man, like it really does just take somebody to coach anybody to tell these kids, hey, you might want to think about putting on a chin strap. You might want to think about doing this, because they might be so tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? When they think about, hey, I want to play basketball, I'm gonna be a basketball player, and I'm gonna get these offers playing basketball. But sometimes you hit the football field, can change your whole life. So I'm real happy for the Marshall kid, man. Like he's really blown up, and it's only gonna get bigger because
He got
Marshall.
another year,
I would
right?
say, got another year, and Marshall plays deep into the postseason. And then this spring is gonna hit hard, man. So yeah, I'm really happy for him. It's only just beginning for him.
Yeah, and also tell me this: how is Texarkana region as the Greater Houston teams? That's at the top of Texas. That's like a couple of miles from Arkansas, right?
Yeah. So wait, what was your question? How is Texarkana, Texas what?
Yeah, Texarkana, Texas High School. They play Crosby.
Yes.
Right? On Friday.
Yeah.
How are they in the same region? Why are they not in region 2?
Yeah. So in 5A is where it gets a little weird because you have some team, like there are some Dallas teams that are in the same region as some Houston teams, I would say, if you want to count like maybe a Magnolia, as a Houston team or something like that. So in 5A, it gets a little bit different just because there's fewer of those schools, I guess, spread out on this side of the state. So a team like Crosby has to be, in the same region as, a Texarkana, Texas, or maybe a White House or something like that. They have to be in the same region.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and I know it's a little bit weird, when you see it, kind of spread out on the map. I kind of have to show you on the map kind of how it is, but that's just kind of how it is. I think it's the same thing when some people say, when they see Westbrook in football in a district with Houston teams, or Westbrook playing the schedule of all Houston teams, because for a long time they were the only 6A, on that side of the state. So it's weird how the UIL has to work it out sometimes, and you see that a lot where, in region 1, there are Dallas teams sharing the same region with teams from El Paso, and then the same region, so it all has to work. And sometimes you get those funny matchups like Texarkana, Texas versus Crosby.
Yeah, Texarkana. And of course, McDonald says it's called the Arkler Tex. Jimmy, yeah. Hey, Barry, trust me, I know. I was born in Shreveport. So trust me, I know the Arkler Tex very, very well. Being up in that part of and going there, after I was born, going there spending summers with my pops and my grandparents and the rest of my family in Shreveport and Natchitoches and Clarence and all that part up in that area. But we want to appreciate, of course, Adam Coleman. Hey, man, you guys can follow him. You see right there on the side of his name at Cron Coleman. You can follow him on social media. Get the updates on. He covers all of the high school sports for the Houston Chronicle. That's our flagship newspaper in the greater Houston area. We want to thank you, Adam Coleman, man. Next week, you're going to come here. I'm going to have, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I'm going to find somebody. I'm gonna find you a piece of pie to eat next week. When you come back on here, when you see that Shadow Creek, there'll be somewhere at Pilgrims, the cleaners. I'm gonna get you a pair of mothballs so you can take over to the coach and put in their uniforms. The next week they get to pack the uniforms up.
Forget about it.
Seed Kane for to put that thing on. Seed Kane gonna put that thing on them next week. Remember that.
Just because of that, I'm gonna be watching that game closely. I'm gonna just because of that. I'm gonna be watching that game.
And Jimmy, I might be able to get that game on that little net on that, because they got football on that national on that football.
NSHS, yeah.
Yes, they have football on there too, so I might be able to watch it on that.
You can switch from one game to another.
Yes.
You gotta let me know. I might go. I'm gonna be watching the basketball game. I might take my iPad, take my little, I call it my little pistol. Take my little pistol with me, and I'll pull it up and watch the game. That game might, at halftime.
Oh, that's right. You're gonna be at games this weekend. But thank you so much, Adam.
That's right. I can
Adam, is anything else you want to give us? Anything else before you leave?
Only that. Okay. I appreciate y'all always for having me on, man. Huge fan of the show. Outside of being on it, man. So appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are important for the culture. So y'all keep it up, man. For real.
Thank you, big guy.
Thanks a bunch, man. Of course, guys, we got a quick break. Coming back to Chop Shop. We're gonna rock and roll with this thing, and keep the conversation going. Guys got some more talk, some more tidbits for you on rankings and all this other stuff that a lot of people don't understand. We're gonna dive right into that again. Then we got another guest coming up past the hour former college coach. He's going to come, and I guess he has some stuff going on this weekend as well. Mm-hmm. And also, he will be able to address some of your questions about the non-Division I ranks. So gotcha. You guys hang right there. Share the show if you hadn't done so right now. I'm going to do it myself, Hatter. I'm going to share this show to your timelines, to your friends, and guess what? Be right back after this. Peace.
The guy's requested a trade. He is trying to do everything he can to get traded, but he's there. He played in the first preseason game that he was back.
Is he going about it the right way, though?
Jared, what is the right way when you want to be traded? People say, well, you should do everything right. You should play hard, all those things. I don't know, Jared. I mean, first of all, when you're James Harden and you've had the organization at your beck and call for the last 6-7 years, it's difficult. Trade and go where? You can't get it any better than what you've had in Houston. You got the whole city. You got the organization. They love you. They built that whole franchise around you. And there's got to be a gut punch for the Houston Rockets, for James Harden, to be feeling this way and want to get traded, demanding a trade after they just hired a new coach and just acquired John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. So things look bright in Houston if they could just get James Harden on page with them.
You have to get over yourself. It's a real hard thing to do. I don't know how many people we have here that played high school basketball and then played college basketball. But in high school basketball, like how many points you have in your head. It's a real selfish thing, but it's a very natural thing because your whole life, you've equated playing well to scoring. Then as you grow in college and you can get there, you have to normally play a role before you can be a major guy. And sometimes you never get out of that role and you're always a role player. You have to be able to give yourself to the team, but get over, those type of things and those kind of, you're not going to get on this team if you can just shoot well and that's it, be able to help us. We need everybody to be able to defend. We need everybody to be able to do other things. And right now we're not very good at that. You got to be able to get over yourself and sacrifice. When you look over there and you see guys cheering and giving energy, and you're normally going to go in the game and play better. And those guys that are sitting there, being duds and, not cheering for their teammate, when you go in there, that's what you're thinking about. I should be in there. And then when you get the opportunity, you don't play well. So it's really a maturation process, and you always are going to have a guy or two on your team that way. You just are. That doesn't change when you deal with 19 to 22-year-olds. But you can't have a lot of them. We have a lot of good guys on our team, but we have too many people that are, searching for answers through their jumper. You got to search through answers through rebounding, defending, doing little things, and really scrapping and competing.
Wow. Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. Your Chop Chop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. That was Matt Painter, coach at Purdue. Jimmy, he says something key. You got to be able to get over yourself. The hardest thing in the world. You got to be able to get over yourself. And that, Jimmy, I'm seeing that in high school. I'm seeing that in middle school. I'm seeing it in college. The people over there. Jimmy, notice what he said, Jimmy. You're going to have 2 of them on every team. Jimmy, he said you just can't have a lot of them. But you're going to have 2 guys. So, hey, y'all, these coaches know when y'all got them bad attitudes. Them coaches know, Jimmy, evidently them coaches watching who don't get up and cheer.
Absolutely.
They watching. Parents, tell your kids this. That man say you got to learn how to get over yourself. Boy, that's gonna be my mantra for high school basketball.
But at the same time, college coaches, they're not going to bat 100. Nobody bats 100% on success, meaning that nobody goes undefeated. Every season, every trip out. So, a lot of people might say, well, hell, aren't they supposed to know this about these guys when they recruit them? Normally you do, and then even the ones that you do, most cases you don't, if that's a deal breaker or a priority. Now, here's what happens. During the recruitment, there are a lot of times, and a lot of their efforts will be made to conceal the flaws of the prospect. And a lot of people will be like, well, that ain't my job to tell you. It's like you selling a used car and it might be knocking. It ain't my job to tell you if it's knocking or it need lifters. That's your job. Test driving. You test driving hard enough, you should figure that out. Or bring your mechanic with you. And the seller will say, that ain't my job to tell you all this. You buying a house, it flooded. They said, that ain't my job to tell you all that. Go look it up yourself. You will see if I'm in the floodplain. So a lot of people, when it come to prospects, you will play hide and seek with a lot of their misgivings, and then find, like, some kids that smoke. And if you got a staff, some staffs, some of those coaches smoke too. You follow me? So smokers know how to identify smokers. For real.
Oh, man.
So some of those coaches, they tell me all the time. So kid try to tell me don't smoke. So that means now, unless that kid is very talented, I mean, he'll lie to you about that. He gonna lie about a whole lot of things that are greater when he get on campus.
That man said, get over.
But at the same time, a lot of people don't want. It's even all the way down to. It's funny. Even grades, Hatter. A lot of people want to hide they want to conceal the transcripts. If that school is going to have the luxury or the privilege of recruiting a player, seriously recruiting them, they're going to have to see the transcript sooner or later. So you hide the transcript. What do you think that means to a seasoned veteran college coach? If I'm recruiting your son, Hatter, and I need to see his transcript, you're getting me to run around. Oh, they got to go to the register. She not at work today. I call again trying to get it. Well, we sent it. Did you get the fax, coach? No, I ain't getting no fax. I need the official. Send me a copy. You can. So nowadays, coaches get slick with it. Just take a screenshot with your cell phone, and people just delay and stall. What that means to the college coach is that they already know, this transcript about to be shot to hell when I get it. They already know that. Your actions sometimes give the answers before the facts even come. So a little bit of things like that, and I try to help you guys. That don't mean you should give everybody a transcript. No, I don't understand. I mean, that's each his own. Because I've seen transcripts that have been where kids have work to do. There are some coaches, understand, that in the past that have had plans to help some recovery and some surgery to be done on that transcript. And if you release it to too many schools, then they will know your business, and they will say, "Ain't no way in hell
he got there." Yeah,
he gonna be eligible.
So kids shouldn't just get that thing out to anybody then.
Well, if it's bad,
that's what I'm talking about. If it's bad, yeah, if it's bad,
you shouldn't.
Yeah,
because it can come back to haunt you.
Okay,
because that means somebody will know that it ain't no way in hell that your kid in his senior year and he had all of this and he only had this many credits and it was all these D's, and all of a sudden,
Jimmy, I got a question. I'm glad you said that. So we spent all this time trying to get these guys in school that are not qualified. Just probably can't take the standardized test that well, right? Some guys just can't take them that good, Jimmy. I wasn't that great at them. But when you got to college, so I got a question. When you find guys with questionable grades like that, how do they wind up doing in college? Or you just get used in there and just play basketball as long as you can, and then just get some more. I'm just keeping it real.
You know what? A lot of times the great college coaches would do. They're going to put him in classes. That's first year you're going to be in all those remedial classes, those introduction to
everything.
classes,
Yeah, okay.
classes that don't really and just to get them by. And then sometimes you have to realize, depending on what program you're in, what school you at, every other school, college out there has student managers or tutors that can help, depending on how talented the kid is.
So these dudes can get if they're good enough on the basketball court, they can keep doing this and get a degree, but they still, not that bright, but they can still get a degree.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people out there that can't. That if you put their brain in a bird, they'll fly backwards, but they still have a college degree.
Okay,
and
that matters. That matters.
You're going to have to show up and do some work. Mm-hmm. And that's the key. You're going to have to show up. Now, of course, the pandemic has gave a mulligan to a lot of people because now you can, social distancing. You don't have to actually physically go in class. A lot of the student athletes are doing the virtual option. And that virtual option, I really honestly believe that in some places, in some parts of the country, it ain't going away. It's going to probably remain.
Oh, Jimmy,
it's going to remain an option
for
the next 2 to 3 years easily.
Yes, Jimmy, I'm telling you, you're going to start doing. I'm telling you, they right now are talking about virtual classrooms. People are going to start getting their degrees, Jimmy, virtually. I mean, it's going to. It's about to explode. In the next 5 years, it's going to be crazy. I'm not just talking about basketball people. I'm talking about people. Classrooms going to be done different. You're going to have professors on YouTube. You're going to hear professors on Zoom calls. It's crazy, this new technology and how this pandemic, then I'm serious, has paved the way for a whole new way to learn. A whole new way to learn.
Now, what I wanted to do now, of course, we got the guests coming up half past the hour, and I wanted to make sure I took out the time what we did not do on yesterday, and we'll give you a dose of it today, and that is, let's go and take a look at how the college freshmen are doing this week. And what I do is
you got them on the screen?
I'm going to see how I can get this thing. I can get this thing up there. And I think, bingo, Helen. I got it now, so everybody made it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's what we got. Of course, this is on rcssports.com in the VIP news. And you guys can go into the VIP news. This is posted every Tuesday. Doug Jones does a great job of providing that for us and keeping the tab on this basis. This is essentially every Division I freshman basketball player, red shirt or true freshman on Division I rosters nationwide. This is as of December the 14th. These are the stats. It has game played, that's GP. MPG means minutes per game. PPG is points per game. RPG and APG is rebounds and assists per game. So you can, that way now you can go along. We can go, these names are in alphabetical order by the first name. So that may, now you guys can understand how the list is presented to you. And it has the name of the player, the high school they attended in Greater Houston, along with the current college that they are a freshman at right now. And then you can see the stats. So what we do, instead of going through every single kid, let's acknowledge some of the ones who let's go to the minutes per game category. And let's acknowledge the one, normally the normal threshold is 10 minutes, double-digit minutes a game is what we acknowledge. Those who are averaging 10 minutes or more that as a freshman. And we'll start with Bakari Lestrap. He's only played one game at IUPUI, but that was 14 minutes. He had 9 points in that game. So I mean, he got in and produced real quick And
Jimmy,
I don't know
that's the
what
kid.
happened.
That's the kid. We at first he had 0-0 across there. We didn't know he hadn't played a game. But, and we found out that he hadn't played a game because he had zeros all across his name. I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah,
so he didn't play the game
fine.
since last week.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
Right?
Yes.
So he's played the game since last week.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
And you're sure right. Next up, Braylon Bush, 24 minutes a game he's averaging at McNeese, right? And last week it was 22 minutes a game. So he's increased it up. He's averaging 7.8 points a game. Hey, this means, here's what this means. As a freshman coming in, you want opportunity to have as highest number on that MPG as possible. That's the most important category, is that MPG as for a freshman. If you're getting double digits, then that means you have the opportunity to build the stats in those other three categories in the latter three. The opportunity is all that you're doing this for. The initial opportunity. Now, many people get an opportunity and they don't have numbers in those other categories. Then guess what's going to happen? That MPG going to decrease probably. Going to decrease. The next thing you know, they're going to recruit right over your butt. You're going to get the audition. Next up, how about, speaking of McNeese, how about Colin Warren? So that's two H-Town, Greater Houston area players that's playing deep minutes, 19.8 minutes a game, 10.6 points a game, 2.6 rebounds. Colin Warren is a red shirt who played at Elkins High School alongside Donovan Stretch Williams. Now, mind you, 19.8 points a game, he's playing at McNeese. Donovan Williams, he had 7 points. He played about 14 minutes last night for University of Texas in the win. But Colin Warren appears to be big man on campus almost right now. Let's go on down to the H's. Hayden Hefner at Nederland. Hayden Hefner is averaging 16 minutes a game. And a lot of us did not see that coming. That's it right there. And guess what? He's getting the opportunity to play in the SEC. All they have to do is just keep whatever the coaches are asking of him. If he keep it up, then guess what? That minutes per game is going to stay. It can only increase. Go down to Jordan Ivory Curry, guys, from Lamarck High School. UTSA, that's University of Texas at San Antonio. He's averaging 17.3 minutes a game. That is great. 6 points a game for this young man. That is absolutely great because he's a young fella that had 0 Division I offers at the beginning of his senior season. He picked up one, then he ended up selling with UTSA, not far from home, and he's guess what? He's getting his uniform sweaty every game. Yeah. Speaking of a kid that had no Division I offers at the beginning of their senior season, Justin Hill from Travis High School, and this young man right here. Many of you guys may remember his father back in the early 80s when MacArthur High School had a powerhouse team. MacArthur High School had Jeff Williams, they had Keith Hill, Rusty Thomas. You had Howard. I can't think of Howard last name. His daughter was the All-American from Manville. Had her a couple of years ago. Breonna Turner. Yeah, his name was Howard Turner. Remember Breonna Turner went to Notre Dame? Yeah, she had the injuries. That was Howard Turner by 6'7" in the paint.
Was he a fireman or a cop? He was a fireman or a cop. Which one was he?
He's a police. He's HPD.
Yeah,
he's HPD.
Yeah.
And so that's Justin Hill. Keith Hill is his father, who was a starter on that MacArthur team. Used to wear those nets out. 32 minutes a game, guys. He had no offers. Played his way into it. His dad called all the time. I said, man, I'm right here. Just keep doing. Tell him to keep winning. And Travis kept winning.
Yeah.
You keep winning. See, a lot of people don't have faith in their kids' ability to generate wins. I've learned that. That's why a lot of people are like, man, that ain't, no. If you're a guard, you need to win to some degree. Either win or put up a whole bunch of points. Mm-hmm. And so Justin Hill, man, 11 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, 5.6 assists. Dude, he gonna make it hard for them to recruit another point guard to that school in the next season.
Oh, they're gonna recruit another one because you got to have a backup.
I know, but I'm saying, but that backup might be the guy right there. It might be they might gap a year Hatter and wait till he a sophomore, because this year they ain't for the recruit behind him. Ain't no guard for the coming, no point guard in that sound mind is gonna come that can play. That's a steal. This kid, that shows good recruiting from that staff, and that's a good decision to go there. He took a gamble on himself because he couldn't have to go to Division I.
Have they been winning?
I don't know what their record is.
Okay.
I don't know the record. I know he got Player of the Week. Mm-hmm. We have about 3 kids from the area that's freshmen that has been granted Freshman of the Week all at one point or another during this first round of the season.
All right, what's my next kid?
3, maybe 4.
What's my next kid?
Next kid up is Kason Harrison at Beaumont, out of Beaumont United. He goes to Lamar. Mm-hmm. Right now, Kason is at 24 minutes a game and 6.5 points, 3 assists. That's solid. That's a freshman getting it in. Kenneth Lofton Jr. at Louisiana Tech, 19.7 points a game. 19.7 minutes, 11 points, 6.5 rebounds. You picked the right school if opportunity what you was looking for. LJ Cry, 14 minutes a game, 7.7 points a game, in the nation's number 2 ranked team.
And some polls number 1. And one
and
poll
guess
number
what?
1.
That's all you need.
And got pros playing in front of him.
He got pros playing.
Yeah.
Marcus Williams, 31 minutes a game. In 6 games, guys.
Marcus ain't playing. Marcus ain't playing no games up there.
Look at these points. He's averaging 18 points a game as a freshman at Wyoming.
Jim, let me tell you something. I'm thinking about Wyoming. I remember one time I went up there. They played Cornell, right? Jimmy, you can literally, take a glass of water, go outside, and throw it up in the air, and it almost freeze before it hit the ground, Jimmy. I ain't never seen nothing like Wyoming. That if that kid is up there, especially right now, oh my goodness. But guess what? He picked it. And Jimmy, wasn't he going back and forth between Wyoming and another school, one of them North Dakota schools or something like that?
Well, it was Northern Colorado.
Northern Colorado. It was going back and forth, yeah.
That coach from Northern Colorado took the Wyoming job.
Okay.
So he just followed the coach who had believed in him and knew he had a steal coming into Northern Colorado. And so Marcus remained loyal to that coach. And guess what? And took the opportunity to go and follow him over there. It's like, look here. And guess what? Most new coaches want to play their own guys as soon as possible, because this is a guy that you've recruited them.
He played
and
with
Coach
attitude.
Farber's giving us some updates on the Boom Boom Room in the Facebook feed. If you guys on there, we post about some of these players that we are mentioning. And as we get bottom of this, look down at Nathan Clover, Port Arthur Memorial, 11.2 minutes. You got Pierce Helms from Concordia Lutheran, 15.2 minutes at Sam Houston State. I didn't see his name in the box score last night. They played University of Texas. Anybody know? He played 6 games, but he wasn't in the box score last night. Anybody knows why is that, or can define the reasoning by him playing 6 games at 15 minutes a clip and did not log any minutes last night? Okay. How about Reuben Jones?
Yes, sir.
And Tremont Mark.
Yeah.
They're at North Texas and U of H respectively. Both come out of Yates and Dickinson. 27 minutes a game, Ruben is logging.
This is a good group. It's a good group.
Good group.
Yeah.
Good group.
It's a good group of kids. I'm sitting there watching.
Tremont Mark, 23 and a half minutes a game, 15 points a game for him, 4 rebounds. Guess what? A lot of these guys appear to have made the right decision as far as the opportunity. We good from there. As far as the opportunity to play and compete as a freshman. And guess what? If some of you guys are if you have a son that's playing or a daughter that's playing, I always encourage parents. If there's a particular school that's recruiting your son, if you want the phone number, would like to speak with a parent of a former player that's from the area, feel free to reach out to me. I will provide that parent's cell number to you, or your number to that parent. Put it like that. And then y'all can get together. You can ask them any questions that you may have about the program, about the experience, about little knick-knack things. And this is what don't happen enough. Parents, you think you have so many people at your disposal of influence who all claim, I get this done for you. I got this covered. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. And guess what? And you feel like everything's supposed to be there. Everybody's going to take care of everything. But now you've done no homework. You haven't talked with nobody. Everybody that goes to a college don't get to play 10 minutes a game as a freshman on the average. Think about it. I could have easily went through that list and pointed out the ones who ain't playing but 3 minutes a game.
Not important.
And guess what? But then know what happens then? Why you picking on my baby?
No, but it's all right. All freshmen ain't gonna start. All freshmen ain't gonna play.
And they're not. All of them ain't gonna play.
Every year it's gonna be. But what I be looking at, Jimmy, where they play the next year, how many they play the next year. A lot of people be worried about the freshman year. I be trying to see what the hell gonna happen in the sophomore year, because they always call it the sophomore jinx. I always want to know what's happening the second year. That's what tells me a lot about players.
Indeed, man. Indeed. And so that guys, there you have it on that part. We got to go. We go to a quick break. We come right back. We get a college coach, a former college coach, is going to join us. Get your questions ready. Also, he has a camp that's going to take place on Sunday in H-Town, Saturday in San Antonio. And these little camps, guess what? One thing about it, I can say, we've had him on before. The signal wasn't great. It should be great today for you. And that helps to make the experience and the appearance on the Chop Shop much better. One thing I do know that this guy, we know him as Coach V. I do know that he does a lot of work for those kids who come into his camp. Now, I can say that. Mean that he go as a former college coach, he's part of the fraternity. Mm-hmm. So that means most college coaches will get their phone call answered in an abrupt manner. But anyway, we go back with Coach V, and meanwhile, share the show if you hadn't done so already. It's that time. We're on the back nine, Chop Shop. We'll be right back. We have passed the hour, and we're gonna take it on downhill with Coach V.
I hit you. I got you. Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, Gone Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. And guess what, Jimmy? We got a special guest in the wings right now, waiting to chop at the bits. I can't wait till Jimmy, you can introduce him and I'll bring him in, make it happen. Because he think he cool, he outside, got his little, let me bring him on in, Coach. Let me bring him on in. Let me see. There he is right there.
I'm body trees. I got some trees.
What's up, Coach? What's up, Coach? Coach B. What's the word?
I can't stand technology, but I'm living. If I knew technology, I'd be rich.
No, Coach, you're doing good, Coach. Hey, Coach, the reason Coach is saying that, Jimmy, me and Coach been sound checking for about 2 hours today. We went through about two or three different devices.
Mr. Hicks, I was on with AT&T for 25 minutes, and they go, "We found a problem. You got a 50 bundle." I said, "No wonder it was on special." That's what happened, Mr. Hatter.
Okay.
They tricked me at Costco.
Oh, they trick you?
And
okay.
They beat Spectrum, but Spectrum has 2,000 megabits or whatever.
Yeah.
And they gave me the 50 megabits.
Oh,
that's called a trick.
That's the trick. Okay, my man.
Like some of the guys that trick these kids, tell them they're D1. Same shit.
Say, give us an example. You about to step on the ant bed right now. Give us an example of how kids are getting tricked, or how the parents can be tricked into thinking they're Division I.
I'll give you an example right now of what Uncommon represents, and it is real simple. There's a kid I didn't know about out of Waller High School. I'm not going to mention his name. Okay. And my camp, you're going to really get exposed or showcased. Either way, he came and fell flat on his face. Didn't understand. Good little player. I could assess him in my camp as what level he really is, and it's okay. He came back after falling flat on his face and left the top prospect, and now has 2 small college offers, and is fine with that. That means the voice above him, whoever that may be, is pretty intelligent in this pandemic, because the kid, it's okay to fail. Come back and get work harder and then get rewarded. I don't know how people don't understand that. So my point is, I love stuff like that happening. I get happy for a kid like that who accepts what he is and now has 2 offers and they're going to go get an education.
Coach, that's not being tricked to me, Coach. That's just having unrealistic expectations. That's not being tricked. I mean, some people just think
I don't want to lose all my fans, because again, I'm very uncommon. There's a lot of people that tell kids a lot of things at giant events, and then the next year they showcase the kids everybody knows about already again, and that's kind of a tricky thing for a parent who's just a parent saying, "Well, there's going to be 20 coaches there." Well, they're all looking at these 3 kids. I was a college coach for 20-something years. Right. They already know who they're looking for. So I always say, that's why I created Uncommon. There's a place for those showcase. There's a place for select, but the vast majority of kids in a 45 group setting, you can kind of really give them a shot. And they're invite only kids. But in that showcase, there's 200 guys playing 4 guaranteed games that are playing bad basketball. And so if I don't already want you, that's what we're standing with our coffee for. Mom asked me, "Well, what's it like?" Well, we're all standing over there watching the same 4 kids. This kid may stand out, but to me, it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors in the fact that they're really going to see the 4 kids that they're promoting prior to the event. And then, maybe there's a couple of kids that have a great day and they'll go research them. But those parents think, well, there's going to be college coaches on site. That's when they ask me, how many coaches are going to be there? I don't set mine up for one day hit or miss. I mean, I try to write an assessment, evaluate, and then every time somebody calls at appropriate levels, I share their information. So but I don't know.
And you're speaking of your information, you have a camp, 2 camps coming up this weekend, one in San Antonio, one in Houston, and that's your Uncommon basketball camp. Describe and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, it took me 3 years. It's an old coach of me, trial and error, man. So I took a lot of input over 3 years, and basically, instead of being our coach, now one thing I had to do is take the coaching hat off because I know what it's like to have money, and it's if a kid was not like, in other words, I give you an example. Mr. Hatter's gonna like this shit. We're in a college level warm up, and there's guys hunched over on the sideline with their hands on their knees. If I have money in you, and you're wondering why that kid gets on the bus, I used to coach that shit 3 years ago. Like, this is a warm up at Division I, and you're tired as hell. You might want to go just get it. So what I did is that didn't really work. So my first 2.5, 3 hours, what I love. As every kid in there, Mr. Hicks, if you don't have a jump shot, but you're a college defender, I do about a 40-minute defensive portion of my camp. And if you're the best defender at the camp, you're in my top game. I don't give a shit where you're ranked. You are in the top game because you won. So now what did I do? I just got me out of the way and created an avenue for that little kid looking next to that ranked kid and saying, no, I'm better than him. Well, both kids benefit. If you're ranked and that's all you're living on and you're forgetting to work and you don't make the top game, Mama's been saying thank you. That was a wake-up call. And that's not a bad thing. I said, because they could see the most talented kid couldn't make the top game because he couldn't win nothing. You got to tell him about motor. Maybe that kid learns, grows, has a chance. And then you got the other kid in my camp that I used to sign at the non-Division I levels, but still very good levels, West Texas A&M and NAI Division I, that he may bring something to the table, even if he's a sixth man, but he's a hell of a college defender, and he wins. He's in my top game. I put him in my write-up. Why wouldn't you? He's the top 9 because he was the last one standing. So my whole day is just to stretch you, give every kid, if you're the most skilled kid, there's a skill session. If you got the best, then you win that, you're in the top game. If you're the most best teammate, I do an intangible session. Those 3 guys that win that, I talk about leadership. I prep them now. If you still don't want to communicate on defense, if you still don't want to play hard, then you lose. How are you going to complain with that? There's no avenue. If it was at an elite camp and I brought you on, sir, and you were tricked your whole life about how good you were, and I have 1 scholarship left, I bring 24 kids to Texas State, and I see you all day, I'm going to still shake your hand because I don't burn. That was when I was a coordinator.
Right.
But there's no way I'm bringing you back on an official visit. Same kind of mindset I do in my camps.
Wow.
Give every kid, just changes the platform. And I added, because of the pandemic, more games because they need to see the kids in games.
Right.
So I think it's a great avenue to do both. And I give my coaches on site a template based on what I want, which is style of play, strengths, weaknesses. So it's not just, hey, this kid can go or not. They got to write notes.
Gotcha.
And they send me 9 names. If I find 5 kids, because it's a college staff, they're D3 that are all the same, those are really my staff picks. I don't tell the guys. It's like I said, there's no tricks. I don't tell the coaches who they're like.
Right.
I tell them the opposite. I don't give a shit if you know who Billy is. We're having a camp today.
Right. Right.
At 5 o'clock, if your 5 names match the other sheets, then those kids pretty much had a great day. And everybody noticed the things that coaches notice, which is talent. Again, talent's the easiest thing to assess. A grandma would be able to do my job in the stand. She knows who's dropping 20. I still don't get, and I don't think people research. People don't come to my camps because I write the good and bad. That keeps you on a board. A coach that gives you a gap to improve. There's a gap there. A college coach, it ain't NCSA, he ain't a dummy. If Jim Hicks used to give me a lead in 99, Mr. Hicks was credible with his little booklet in his hat. And I would research the hell out of that kid because it was a good lead.
Right.
It was a credible lead. And that's all Mr. Hicks did.
Right.
And then I went to Houston and started doing my work.
Right.
Yes, if you're a step slow, but you can fit here. So, again, I don't know. It's just I worked so hard to continue this, and I want this pandemic to be over, and I want to get back on the road. And I'm not good at technology, and hopefully these last 2 camps, man, can help 20 to 25 more kids. That's my fun part, is discovering talent that not a lot of people know about. and giving them a shot and trying to help those kids.
Coach, let me give my evaluation of you, Coach. The first time you came on, let me tell you something. Your technology game is stepping up, Doc. I don't know what you talking about. The first time you came on, I said, wow. But guess what?
Terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible. You just didn't understand the equipment. You were smart enough this time to do what? Call AT&T or call the service. You were smart, so you advanced your game, man. You're doing like you're teaching these kids. You step your game up, Doc.
That's all I did, and that's a great point. After each event, every different kid struggles that has the talent. I'll try to call the mom and kid when I get home, and a large portion of them, they just don't know. Let me make sure. I don't want to scare. Like a mom I talked to the other day said, my boy, he's a Houston kid, and he's in Hicks's rank, and he's a good kid. I like him, man. I know it. But I said, Mom, does he have an offer? I think it needs to be. He said, yeah, he's got a Division II offer. And I know there's going to be some. I go, well, where at? They go, Mary Harm Baylor. Now, I coached 10 years at Division III, and I was on the number. And Mary Harm Baylor is a very good Division III. It's not a Division II offer. So what I did was sent her a scholarship package and a financial aid just to help that mama. And again, she's a single mom, man. She's trying to work. She doesn't know if that's an offer. And so what I do in my midseason camp, post-camp, which is a good point, is I do a scholarship seminar. Most walk out the doors because they don't think that's important. But coaching D1, D2, D3, and NAI, I want to see what a scholarship looks like, interest, EFC, APR, equivalencies. Mama, maybe 3 of them that stay, learn how to, decipher what interest is and what an offer is. So I do that in the midseason. So the spring's about to hit, especially. Maybe that helps the parents too.
And Coach, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I always talk about, like Jimmy used to always say, eliminate the excuse. Be a little bit more smarter. Get a little bit more smart in the kid. Make yourself more valuable to the kids. The better grade. I ain't saying you got to be a rocket scientist, but man, some of these kids are brighter. These kids can pick up offenses and defenses and coaches and shifts on the court and on the football field and all that kind of stuff. And Coach, these kids smarter. These kids can do a lot more than I think they're doing in the classroom. So,
well, Mr. Hatter, and this probably my Mr. Hicks, like, there's a lot of noise around him that never offered money. And I had to change my formula. And I don't. What would I got to lose at this point? Because there was a lot of noise knocking me down and all that. Oh, he doesn't. No, I was telling them the truth. I was trying to help every kid last year behind the scenes that followed. Because I helped kids behind that I identified at camps. A lot of them were Houston kids. The parents that followed that behind the scenes insight, their schools are paid for. It may be Arizona Western, but it's paid for. It may be South, but those I can tell those parents were wanting the knowledge.
Right.
Like you with AT&T.
Right.
God bless them for doing that. But most have a lot of noise saying you're D1.
Right.
And then they're just good kids stuck on the street, dunking the shit out of the people at Lifetime. And everybody says, oh, that kid should be playing. No, there's a lot more to it. So I try to block the noise. I don't lecture. I try to do a seminar. And then again, the avenue of the first part of my camp gives every kid that walks in the chance to be the best leaving. And that's, again, a very thing that I think is missing. Where it blocks out noise. I mean, you can't lie about having 3 hours to win one scenario if you're the best talent and you don't get to the top game. If you're the best talent, you dominate. When you come to my league camp, when I was a college coach at D1, you better make the other 3 fools better. If they ain't D1 and you know you're D1, one guy can beat 4. If he's D1, he can guard everybody. That's a college guy. He can score. He can make others better. So I always prep them with that. And so, I mean, it's just something I think both parties in this pandemic need. And then I said, Mr. Hicks, what I'm really trying to do is create about a 40-page manual of about 120 kids that fall in every category. So the spring, I can just share it with coaches because it's going to be a long journey. And that's really more than the coaches on site. I'm trying to find 24 more guys to put in that manual And then I got a good guy to Houston, does a hell of a job for me that I've just met through the channels out there. Archie Young, man, he helps those kids out. But he's going to, because I don't know technology, he's going to add their film, their transcripts, and we're going to really build a nice portfolio in January. And I'm going to get up to 120 kids and then just keep it on my pile. If a coach calls, when they start to know what they really have to offer, there's going to be some movement. Then I can say, yeah, those 4 kids in your manual, coach. Or yeah, go to my link and there's player A, B, and C. He fits your. That's why I'm going to spend January after these camps, kind of create that manual and help these kids, man. And it's going to be a longer haul, but there's going to be movement.
Gotcha. Jimmy?
Now, of course, guys, just tuned in. This is Coach V. He's hosting 2 camps this weekend, one in San Antonio on Saturday the 19th and in Houston on Sunday, December the 20th. And you guys can look, it's pinned at the bottom of the screen. You and Heather, you can put it on the YouTube feed in just a second so that they can see a link to those to go to the website uncommonbasketball.com and get more information. One of the things I like about both of the camps, this is not one of those camps where come one, come all. You're restricting how many players that you're taking at each location. And both camps is under $100. Under $100 is compact, 4 hours each session, right? And get in, get to work 4 hours, get up out of there. That's $25 an hour, right? And that's the thing. And also, and you want to elaborate on it? How many you restricting each one to?
Well, not only restrict them, but I try really hard to do it 2 ways to feel like camp with invite only kids. Again, when I say not top ranked, man, I'm still trying to hit up the like you said, the kid that's right, maybe 30 to 40 in your rankings that is on the bubble, like a RJ Crawford, really good player, maybe not D1, but really smart. A kid like that last year that came out and found a good home. And but it's 45 to 48. 48's max. I never do more than 48. If it's late guys coming in, I'll stop it at 40. So, from a money standpoint, I'd rather have quality than some late dude walking in when there's a good player that signed up early. So the reason I do the cap, the other way I get it, again, and this may be a little bit different because there's a lot of good people helping these kids out there in the community, but my second invite's to high school coach only. Why? People complain about him more than anybody walking out the damn gym in America that Johnny played the wrong position and every game. So 3 years ago, the only other kid is a referral. Why? Because there's kids that are in every day in a high school that may be playing great basketball late. Who knows that best? The guy with a degree, the high school coach, the guy who's with them every day, the kid's lifting hard. He may not be the guy right now, but he's with them. And in late February, he knows the same traits that I look for, basically, is what I believe. And I still believe that the high school coach's voice should be a very important voice with the kid as well. So those two, the referrals and invites, I cap it at 45. So that's what we stick with. Again, what does that do? What does that do? It takes 200 kids, you asked earlier, that think they're D1 paying, because there's really 3 D1s at this showcase, and they're paying 150, and they're playing games all day, or whatever you want to say. They ain't getting evaluated. I guarantee you all 45 with 4 college coaching staff, and what we're going to do for 4 hours is going to get me what I need, which is an in-depth assessment to help them match with the right college program. And that's why another reason I do 45, you get a better evaluation. So
that makes sense.
Here's the key. So some kids from mine that a lot of talent that break my heart, they hide because they're exposed to their motor. They get their ass beat in the position, like college position work. They get knocked down, beat up when I'm doing real. And then there's some guys that are winning at 6'5", under the radar in Houston and winning. Like I'll bet people, I like this kid. In my Ed Trahan, I bet he ends up with about 8 Division II offers, maybe a low major. He's up at Richland College. Because I had Ed in 3 of my camps, and when I told the coach, I saw him at my camp. In other words, I would see that kid like he would be at West Texas A&M in a practice. And so that translates to college. That hunger, that drive translates. Doesn't get you on a bus driving home after a week. That translates to being a better sophomore. So now I can get a prediction on what they're going to be maybe late. That's another reason I do my assessments.
And you mentioned earlier about the kids getting exposed. Let's flip it a little bit. What are some of the ways that parents can relate, that are watching right now, can relate and help prepare their sons or daughters when they're coming into a camp such as yours or any camp that's similar? How do you prepare? Here's the thing I noticed, the trick is in the first few minutes, the staff and evaluators are going to notice things that's going to put some kids in the front of the pack and going to put some kids at the back of the pack. And in most camps, you don't have enough time to make up that ground from that, erase that first impression. By the time the camp is over, you might be doing good, but you don't realize it might be something that you just turned me all the way off when I saw you. And it just might have been it's something simple. So give us some tips on how people can approach these camps and your camp without getting exposed.
Especially in this pandemic. That's a great question. I mean, I got to be smart, inventive, and better myself. And so what I've done recently, Mr. Hickson, what I'm going to do at these camps is before each segment, with the parents right there, remember I only got about 45 kids, I'm going to prep them for 5 minutes. So I'm going to, in other words, let's say we're doing our defensive portion of the camp. Like literally in my last camp, I gave them a sheet of 5 traits that college defenders do. I gave them paper, a sheet of 5. We went over those 5 traits. I went over the scenario, and then we did a 12-minute competition. So now you have a little prep, what coaches look for, even if you've never done it and you're, well, I can do this for 12 minutes and stand out for the right reasons. So I want to showcase their strengths, but I'm also looking at the kids that are taking that information, like Mr. Hatter said, and doing it. So I've kind of added a prep before every segment of my camp, so you're not washed up in the first part. And that's been pretty cool to see kids, because again, at the end of the camp, you got 9 names from the first part that automatically are in the games, and then the winners of the round robin at teams of 8 or 9, that's how y'all make up my top game. You may be a better player in 5-on-5, but we prep before each segment. So, okay, we're going to prep on how to win. So the winning ways, here's the winning ways. The best communicators in the gym will win this segment. The best off-the-ball defenders who help their teammates, because you got to communicate. So let's say the last camp, I did the 3-on-3, and all you can do is ball screen, and you can't switch. So I just stopped being a coach and being smarter. So now what? You have to do what? Communicate. You'd be amazed. There's only 2 guys in there communicating like a mother, and their team's winning. How do you, boom, we prepped them. So if you can learn afterwards and know what coaches look for, if you're in a showcase with I tell them that, hey, you got to go play showcases too. But when you're in a showcase, now you know what coordinators, how to stand out. If you're not that Division I ranked kid, you can bump your stock up. If you're a nice talent, that adds that. So my camp, I try to do both things, is provide a platform, but provide something that the next camp, the next month, 3 months from now. So a kid has a chance in his room and decipher and leave and go home and start to fix things that become more recruitable. So it's been it's been a hard grind, but I love my platform, and I'm staying the course, hopefully until this pandemic's over, to get back at it. But got 2 more camps.
Now I want to ask you, we talked about one side of the fence. You being a college coach for over 20 years, approximately. What, during the pandemic, we know the Division I players, they all get to repeat this year of eligibility.
Everybody does.
So in all levels, they get to repeat pretty much this year, those current players. What's the feel amongst the Division II, the Division III schools, the NAIAs, the JUCOs? What's the feel and the atmosphere? What are they thinking right now? And about, and you know, because I mean, the times are changing. We don't know this bubble. I mean, not bubble, this pandemic. What is their feel towards your players? Is it harder now to get them to look at some of the kids in your, or is it easier? Take us through that.
It's a lot harder. I'll go two aspects of that. This never changes. And the kid that fell flat on his face that has 2 offers now, he kept fighting. If you're not fighting in a regular year, you're not going to make it in college basketball anyway. So, pandemic aside, control what we can right now. Kids can stay hungry, compete, stay proactive. You know, on the flip side, the coaches are going to do the same thing. The coaches that I deal with most. I'm not in the mid-major division wheelhouse. I have friends up there, but that's not my thing. My thing is kind of low major or below. Should he go JUCO? But all those in between levels you talked about, those levels, I think there's still going to be plenty of recruitment. And the reason I'm writing the manual and all that is it's going to be more sustainable. In April and May, maybe, is when they're going to know what they really have to offer. But my hopes is that they follow these kids in this manual, because this is what happened last year, even in a regular year. I got most of my calls late March and April, and I was having to find this information. Now I'm just keeping it in their hands. There's going to be a lot of movement, I think, late still. Kids are still going to leave. Coaches are still going to let go to kids, even though they can keep them back at those levels. They just won't know, because they don't even know if they're going to play college basketball at some of these schools. Some schools I'm talking to are suspended till late January. My son's school, who's in Arkansas, he's D2. Look at this, Jim. They're playing only Arkansas schools 4 times. That's like, they're playing after Christmas break 4 teams 4 times. So it's so weird for them. They're probably just analyzing this year what players they want to keep or not, but there will be movement and more money. It may just be later if you're patient and proactive and you're fighting and just don't give up. I mean, the kids that are still, and then I think what I'm going to be trying to do the most is when they start calling late, I think that is when I think my manual, my exposure is going to be most helpful if parents are patient in late March, April, and May. I think a lot of spots will open in a short period of time at the non-Division I levels.
Now, lastly, before we go to land the plane, can you give an example for some parents out there at the non-Division I level? Because you mentioned a lot of people think they have scholarship offers, and some of those levels don't offer scholarships per se. They have packages that they can, financial packages, supplements they can put in place that can help offset. And so give me an example, because you've been there. Let's say in example 1, if a parent makes this amount of money and the combined income of the household is this, and if the kid makes this as a GPA, then what level is he? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Can you give us examples? If the parent, in other words, if the parents make less than 75,000, and what if the parents make more than 150,000? Is there a better situation for Division II or Division III, or does it matter if the prospect has a 3.5 GPA or higher, 3.3, or is he have a 2.3? Take us through that. Give us scenarios.
Especially a lot of these kids, I think, that are most hurt by the pandemic, that can maybe bump into the D2 and NAI range where there's money involved. Nothing against Division III. Again, I coached 10 years of Division III. They should be applying if somebody's recruiting them into Division III. There's more money right now in Division IIIs. If your mama or dad waits until the end, then institutional grant money's gone. Why are you waiting in the pandemic? You don't have to commit to them, but if they're recruiting you hard, and it's a spot that fills your academic needs, then do your FAFSA. Go through the admissions process, look for additional grants. They're available right now. They're available. So that's the Division III. NAI and D2, absolutely, Mr. Hicks. If 5 guys are the same, that's what I'm talking about researching as well. Forget academic speeches in the hallway about school matters. If your GPA and EFC is better than the other 4, you cost me a 0.46 at West Texas as opposed to a 0.89. Now it's a full ride. So again, applying earlier, showing interest, doing your FAFSA, knowing what EFC, like that mother saying, I don't think it's a bad kid or a bad mother. I think it's knowledge. And so that's why I break all that down after this camp to answer those questions for parents. But absolutely, in Division II and NAIA, unless let me make sure there's a lot, unless you're when people say they're interested in me, I'll say, you'll know when they're interested. I said, kind of like a girl liking you, you'll know when a girl likes you. You'll know when they're interested in you.
Yes, sir.
They'll say, I got interest. I said, really? Because when I was interested in somebody at Our Lady Lake or West Texas A&M, I was at their home. I was paying for their visit. We were helping them through admissions. You'll know what interest is. And they're doing that. They're getting all that figured out. They're helping mom at night. They're getting that paperwork in for you. If you're doing it right now, but they're calling you, you may be on their board. If you got one letter and you're putting on Twitter, you got interest, no, you don't. Not in the pandemic. You better keep fighting. That's what I mean. I like those kids that kept fighting and doing all this stuff we're talking about. Right now, they got offers at NAIA, and that's about as high as it'd go anyway. And that's okay. I don't get the other part. I mean, so, not getting on a tangent. You'll know I use that analogy. I thought about that if you were asked that. You'll know if a girl likes you. So, good man, the guys I work at West Texas, I'm in Mississippi. About as much as they let me be from an NCAA rule standpoint at that kid's home, because you got to beat them out. That's what kills me about some of this stuff. Like, you don't think recruiters are working their butt off on certain kids, like to beat them out? I mean, if you get one deal a month, you better keep fighting and keep working. Nobody's robbing you of that. And that's why, again, I want to do something with these camps that's a 4-month, 5-month grind. So if I look back and the kid at Cy Woods or Cy Lakes is crushing it late, I can follow and connect the dots. There's still a lot of basketball left. There's still maybe a 2 weeks off because of pandemic, 2 weeks on. But so that kid that sustains the course during this dang thing, like a lot of folks have to do, is probably going to be rewarded with that bump up to NAI and D2. Right now, if somebody shows some interest, and I'm talking about not the what I talked about, that's called an offer. That means, to me, you better be applying to that school, getting your EFC to that coach if they make a call, just to be ahead of the game, because you may get more money and you may cost that coach less. It's happened to me at NAI. Kids will wait to the very end, and you weren't, and you weren't a 1.0 kid to me. You were a 0.50. So if you'd have done your crap at Christmas, you would have probably had a full ride. Now mama comes back because they weren't Division I, and they never would have been Division I, and they call me in late March. Now you cost me a 0.10, which is a full ride of my money. You ain't that no more. So be smart, get ahead, because if you wait late on some of these NAI and D2s, you may not pull the trigger yet, and you cost them more late because of your financial aid and all that, or grants gone and academic grants gone. Then you're not a full ride player. Those guys are still recruiting full ride players right now. I'm telling you, these NAIs are still driving to those full ride players, gyms, houses. So you will know if they want to get offered. If you don't have that, keep fighting, keep improving your game, keep improving your grades, and keep applying.
So should parents be of the 12? Let's talk 12th graders right now. What should the 12th grade parent of the student athlete be doing right now? It sounds like you're saying they should be getting their package together and applying for admissions through some of these, through these D3, D2 schools. Is that correct or no?
Well, I always do it with Division III, because I mean that's just time, unless you're going to decide to go. But with NAIs and Division II showing interest, then yes, I think you absolutely do everything that they ask of you. Because again, if you wait late on some of the things they're trying to do, and I want to make sure very clear. Now, I want to make sure very clear, Mr. Hicks, so you can understand the difference.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, Mr. Hicks, if you wait late as hell, if I really want you and you don't tell me, then you're a real player. Till the middle of the summer, I'm still giving you a full ride. That was my board. We got full ride. I mean, so if you're smart and you're doing all that, and I look at my recruiting money, and you cost me, in other words, like you're asking, in January, a 0.42, you may be a Division II prospect still this year if you do it early. They may offer that to you. And that's why I told that parent, let me see what you're saying about an offer. I'll know if that's an offer or if they're trying to get you to apply for just basic admissions. But these kids that think they're Division I and don't even have a D2 offer yet, if you have a D2 offer, I don't care if your mama makes a lot of money. I don't care if you have good grades. If you're through the clearinghouse and I want you when I was Division II and you're a legit Division II player, I don't care about all that. We're going to take care of all your stuff and give you a Pell. I mean, it's competition, man. That's real basketball. These kids that I can't, especially Division II, and even in the I, but I don't know. I just say stay proactive. Understand the facts that the more proactive you are with schools showing some interest, maybe the less you cost them. And if not, you better be my main guy and my number one guy on my board. And you don't know that. Only I know that. Number one guy's going to stay there till the very end of this, baby. Till you figure out you're not D1 and you call it. That guy's going to stay on my board. He's going to stay on the board.
I like that.
Well, one thing about it, we definitely appreciate it. That's Coach V, guys. He has a camp in San Antonio on Saturday, camp in Houston on Sunday, 4-hour camp, $99, less than $100, 4 hours. And he's giving you all what he just said. You can get more info on the website. We have it linked at the bottom of the Facebook feed. You can put it on the YouTube feed.
Put it on there. I put it on
link on there for, and that is uncommonbasketball.com. uncommonbasketball.com. And they have to link.
Uncommon. I'm gonna say I want to stay uncommon, and I'm not being opposed to there's plenty of avenues for the top ranked kids that everybody knows about. I've been working for 5 years to create an avenue for the kids that's willing to fall on his face. That's a good enough player. Keep growing. Stay hungry. I'm going to move heaven and earth to make sure that kid. And again, I had a kid come to my camp. From one of those organizations out there, Jake Arnold. Now I can say that because he's a Houston Baptist commit.
Yeah.
I thought he was a D2 scorer. I told Jake, so this is a spread. I'm going to leave with, I said, Jake, I need some footage of you of who you can guard. Like I prepped him. I pulled him. I said, I guarantee you. But right now, coaches are stupid. If I was at Texas State and Jake didn't have a one Division II full offer, I'm still kind of saying in my brain, because I'm stupid too. I said, he's got to be at least a Midwestern. I got to see like 3 D2 offers before I pull the trigger. And that's what I told his family. I said, I think you got to get a D2 offer first. Once that comes, the floodgates. There's probably 3 low majors waiting to just pull the trigger. And so that kind of happened for Jake, but Jake did one thing smart, give him credit. And this guy's averaging 10 that won't come out. Like, give Jake credit. He came out first camp. I said, man, D2 best, D3. Second camp, I saw that he could score. Third camp, I said, give me footage of just you guarding the hell out. I'm going to send that to coaches who you can guard, even if you're in a system guarder. In other words, not a great on the ball defender, but and give Jake credit. He turned it up a notch.
Yeah.
And that footage, I think, helped him get to his dream. That's a simple deal. He's right there on the bubble. Who can you guard at the next level? Jake showed that he can guard at the next level because he's a Division I scorer. Now he's got a D1 offer. Fixing it, man. Being uncommon, baby.
Well, the thing about it is I always say, just because you got the offer, it's what? Now you have to show and prove when you get there, because there are many people that only had one offer, and we mentioned a couple of them early on the show, and they're playing double-digit minutes as a freshman at Division I. You got to get there. If you get there and play, then guess what? Then that means you made the right choice. That means the coach made the right evaluation. If you get there and don't play, it doesn't mean you didn't make the right choice. But if you expected to play initially and don't, then that means now you probably have to go and make some adjustments on some decisions. But we want to thank you, man, Coach V.
Sir.
We appreciate
Coach,
it,
man, baby,
and keeping it real.
I mean,
guess what? It's some great
have you ever
nuggets.
seen Hatters' car? Because have you ever seen Hatter's car? I told him I'm going to put my dune buggy behind me next time if I ever get to do this again. He's got the nicest car I've ever seen in America, man. In a pandemic, you can't hide that money, Hatter.
No, man.
You can't hide that money.
I just got good credit, Coach. I just got good credit, Coach. That's all. That's good credit.
I know, but thank y'all. Hopefully Sunday, I got about 10 more spots left.
Okay.
They want to come at this point. I don't care. Uncommonbasketball.com. I don't care if you're a varsity starter and you just heard, hey, I'm the best defender in my city. I'm coming. Come on, baby.
So let me help you out, Coach.
Make sure.
No, Jimmy. Somebody. It's a dad all just signed his son up while we've been on the air.
No. 3 just signed up.
While we've been on the air, Coach.
Wesley Yates, Mr. Ardorn, and Mr. Bundage.
Okay.
So they all will be there. 3 that we know. And also Tiffany Sanders is asking you, is all grade levels, what grade levels?
At this point, yeah, because it's closed at midnight. Absolutely.
No, I'm saying what grade levels for your camp?
What grade level?
Anybody at this point is a high school varsity player.
Okay.
And the reason why right now, the younger kids, even though they're going to play showcases, select, and absolutely, I think do everything that's going to help you. The reason why is a younger kid has more time to fix it.
Yeah, I got it.
A senior right now is on his last leg, so if a younger kid comes and he gets and he learns more and he has more knowledge about AT&T, he has better internet next time. I'm gonna have better internet now that I know I got 50. I got 50 internet up there.
Unbelievable.
Hey man, appreciate it, man. That's Coach V. And guess what? Make sure you go and check it out if you got a kid. Guess what? This is a good opportunity. I don't co-sign a lot of stuff.
Right.
I co-sign it.
Yeah. What'd you say, Jimmy?
Indeed.
I love you guys, man. Y'all are awesome, man. Stay safe. And when I come down there, Mr. Hatter, if we can have coffee in the car,
I got you, baby. I got you.
Car and I do coffee, that'd be fantastic.
You got my number. You call me. All right.
I want to get in your car.
There you go. Baby. Appreciate it. Peace. That's a bunch. And that is Coach V, guys, with the Uncommon Basketball.
He was great.
And how do you got him in that?
Yeah. He good. I cut you off, Jimmy. No. I cut Jimmy off, man. Golly. Oh, he back. Hey, I don't know how you just popped off. He popped off and you popped off at the same time.
I don't know what happened like that. Hey, guess what? You know what? One thing.
That's unique.
Let me tell you something. First of all, I tell you guys, if you're paying attention, you could tell the passion that person may have in their craft and what they're doing. First of all, this guy's was a coach at various levels for approximately 20 years. He knows a lot about the game, and he just recently coached just a couple of years ago in the level. So a lot of his peers, a lot of his fraternity members are still college coaches.
Right.
So you're asking a college coach is telling you what it takes for that level. See, here's a difference. 90% of the camps that take place in the state of Texas is geared toward selling the Division I. His camp is not.
That's unique.
That makes it uncommon.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So, which it makes it's a smart market because the majority of the kids who play basketball, Division I or non-Division I. I'm
now see, Jimmy, I ain't touched nothing, y'all. I haven't touched nothing, man. Come on back, Jimmy. I ain't touched nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We get ready to land the plane, but my question was: are most kids who play, the vast majority? I'm talking about the vast majority. I'm talking about 90 percentile.
Okay.
Plus, or non-Division I.
That's a good point.
He's playing to the masses.
Right.
When most camps, once again, they lure the parent and the families and the kids with the grandeurs of the visions of Division I.
Got you.
You see the difference?
Illusion of grandeur.
He's not doing that. The grandeur. He's not doing it. That's why I respect that, because he knows what he's looking for. They don't get it twisted. If you're Division I and you go to his camp, that's fine. You still can learn a lot of stuff because he puts them through college type workouts. So that means now, if you're a surefire Division I player, like I saw Wesley Yates' dad, he's a number one one of the top sophomores in the state.
Yeah, his
dad is taking his kid, signing his kid up for this camp. You know why? To get better.
That's all.
And then guess what? To me, if I have $99, I ain't joking. I mean, I think some camps are just too damn much for the buck, the bang for the buck. But $99 to spend 4 hours with a former college coach, I may pick up one thing that I can take home with me and work on. What I do is also I get on his good side, on his graces. I get on his good graces. So that means now every coach that a person like Tim talked to ain't just non-Division I coaches.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
You never know. Hell, that same guy Coach V could do great at his camps, and next thing you know, he could be doing so good, he could pick up an offer, and hell, next thing you know, TJ at Texas State might say, "Man, I need you on my staff." Now he's a Division I coach 3 months later. So now does his opinion change? So see, that's one thing about relationships. You take care of all relationships. That's within your means. That's the key. Something is within your means, you take advantage of it.
And Jimmy,
but at the same time, you got to be real, not fake stuff.
Yeah, and just a minimal investment to be put in that position. This is a very minimal investment to build those relationships, man. That's unbelievable, man. I mean, I know Coach I know what he do is good, but he taught me a few things today. I mean, every time somebody come on this show, I learned a lot about it. Jimmy, you said something key. 90% of the people who have these camps are geared toward the Division I. But it's more people that's gonna go to Division II, the divisions lower. And this guy is doing it, and it's just unbelievable to me. And I just hope other people take heed to it. So it's a smart move. Smart move.
Yeah. So that's that. I mean, good. I mean, good combo like that. And guys, guess what? If you have something coming on, this is opportunity. Understand the chop shop. You're a business owner or a manager. This is an opportunity for you to take heed. You can advertise or market your business on the chop shop. Guess what? Our holiday rates are so affordable that they are so affordable that you can't afford not to. Our holiday. You'd be surprised. And it works. Think about it. 4 of y'all just signed up because it's real. It wasn't trying to, I'm saying, we're not selling you pillows. This is something you understand. He does a good job.
Yeah.
And everybody that I know that's been there, he does what he says he's gonna do. If you win in his camp, then you automatically get ink. He said that.
Yeah.
I love the component about winning because that means now you put yourself in a position to win.
And
if you're communicating, you're gonna get ink.
In different aspects, Jimmy. I mean, you win in different aspects. He said you're a great hustler. You're a great communicator. He know what coaches look for. Telsha Quetta, chopshop at gmail.com. Same email.
Chopshop, yes.
That's how you contact us.
HTX.
I'm sorry.
At gmail.com. That's CHOPSHOP HTX at gmail.com. Send us an email, and of course we'll give you, for those who don't have an ad and need one created, we'll email you with some options for yourself.
Yeah,
because we've done it in the past, don't like to, but we'll both email you back with some solutions, whether you have your own ad created
or
not. It does, you don't have to have a production team to create your own ad to get your point through on the Chop Shop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take it. Don't let that scare you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't take that. Hell, for some of you, if you feel that you're favorable to the camera, you can sit there in your room and sit against your desk and make a video for 30 seconds.
She said favorable to the camera.
And promoting your company, and we'll run it like that.
Yeah. I'll fix it up.
That's sure one option. Sure, or we can just talk about it.
Yeah.
And as we do, like we met you guys the concierge from Icy Mike. And I remember last week we told you about it. Remember, the concierge is the service that's been created by one of the guys, Icy Mike, one of the avid viewers of the Chop Shop.
Mm-hmm.
He has a network of physicians in Greater Houston.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to see a doctor this weekend, you know your ass won't be able to get in through your own medical without going through the front door of somebody's emergency room. You call Icy Mike. He plugs you in with one of his physicians based on what side of town you live on, and will get you in there, whether you have insurance or not. And guess what? You don't pay him diddly squat. He don't charge you nothing.
That's right.
So what the hell you have to lose? Now, I know last time you heard that it was some dude with a toupee on try to trick black folk with what you have to lose, but you don't have nothing to lose on that.
Okay. You're right.
For real.
You're right.
So,
I got you.
Icy Mike, what's the number of Icy Mike? You got it over there?
No, I'm finna put it on the screen. Let me tell you something. This what it's the concierge service scheduling. Concierge scheduling.
So,
go on, Jim.
And so what I'm gonna invite you to do, since it being Thursday, it's Baby Friday.
Okay.
One of y'all need to call that number.
Right. Yeah.
Act like something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Call our bluff. Act like something wrong. 713-979-0334. Call that number.
Just say, can you get in and see a doctor?
You can do it right now while you're on the phone. Call the number right now.
Yeah.
We can't hear you talking on the phone. No. Call that number and watch what happens. He gonna answer the phone, say, hey, I'm speaking to Icy Mike. He gonna say, hey, look here, my bunion hurting.
Yeah. For real, y'all.
I think I got the gout. But whatever I need to see a doctor. Icy Mike, can you get me in?
Or women, how soon as I can what's the quickest I can get me a mammogram? What I mean, anything that's going. I mean, Mike, hold up. They even got cosmetic surgery. He even got the implants and the enhancements. He even got doctors in his network that will help you with if you wanna, you wanna do a little something to yourself. So, I mean, it's just a unique service. But Jimmy, give that number again. Somebody call him right now and just ask him about his network. Just say, man, whatever doctor you think about you, do you know immunologists? Do you know, the guys, do you know urologists? Guys, if you're having problems with that thing. I mean,
hey, man, hey, Icy Mike got you. If you went out there like Cool Mo D and that pea stinging, Icy Mike can get you some tablets to take care of that too. If that's what it is, he got you. hey, he take care of you, man.
But Jimmy, that's a unique service. Jimmy, I'm gonna tell you what other place.
No, B. Scott got a question for you, Adam.
What I do?
Scott has a question.
Call him right now. Go, B. Scott.
Last week there was a girl that wanted to get them things did, and Icy Mike. She called Icy Mike. He got a. I'm serious. He got a guy. Because there's a guy that would take that. You got to realize if you don't have insurance, there are a lot of doctors that'll do certain tasks for pennies on the dollar.
Yes.
Like not quite Dominican Republic rates, but it'll make you feel like you're going to the border to get certain stuff done. And a lot of doctors will take that cash as opposed to going through the rigors.
And Jimmy,
so that's the thing. That's part of his network. You ain't need insurance,
and especially
insurance helps.
Yeah, insurance helps. But yes, especially with Mike, the way Mike got the relationships with these doctors, they're gonna help you when just somebody got to call him. Rick Brown, somebody, Sonya, somebody call that number. Let me put that number on it. Somebody better call. I just want somebody to call and say, Mike, could you help me do this? Mike, please do that for me.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Y'all crazy out there, man.
Hey, Jimmy, we do. Jimmy, see, sometimes me and you don't listen to. I go back and listen to some of the stuff me and you say. I shake my own head. I say, I can't believe I said that. And y'all, hey, don't charge it to my heart. It's my head. Don't charge it to my heart. Because, I mean, when I go back, I'll be saying, wow, what the heck did I say? And Ricky Scott to my peace thing. Yeah. But hey, y'all, thank you so much, man, for this week. Guys, I mean, we'll see y'all Monday. Hey, go Creek boys in the building.
Which creek you talking about? Summer Creek?
Shadow Creek gonna beat the brakes off C.E. King.
Alan.
Gonna beat the brakes off.
You must forgot we had the quarterback from both teams on the Chop Shop.
Okay.
We had the quarterback from Shadow Creek.
Oh, that's
we had the quarterback C.E. King. That's him, the young fella, the young smart honor roll student.
That's all right. Oh, Karen Drones the same way. Hey, guess what? It's gonna be one more. Hold up. Whoa. Jackson versus Mahomes. Then it's gonna be Jackson versus Mahomes. Then Jimmy, whoever have the ball last win. How about that?
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm tell you, but it's something about that north side wall over there, man. I'm gonna tell you. You will see on Monday. On Monday, watch this.
Jimmy.
Watch this. I'm gonna have my box of mothballs, and I just need you to give me the address to send them over to the Shadow Creek coach. I'm gonna mail the mothballs to him.
Jimmy. Y'all drinking out the fountain over there. We drinking out the creek over here. We drinking out the creek. How about that?
That's why all of them sick over there. That's why I need to go see Icy Mike, drink that nasty ass creek water. But anyway, guys, it's time to slide down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing on this baby Friday. Make sure y'all be smart out there. Be safe. Understand something. Most of all, be healthy out there. This is the Christmas weekend. It's gonna be a lot of people gonna be enraged out there in the stores. Women, if you're parking in these parking lots, be careful and cautious to what you're leaving on the seat. Don't get to the parking lot, take it out the back seat, then put it in the trunk. Stop down the street at the gas station, then put it in. Put it in there before you leave home. Smart stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, this ain't no time. I'm the type. I'd rather you bust all four of my windows than bust one window out. Because one window, they ain't worth the deductible. I ain't got time to pay for no damn one window. I need so you bust one, I'm gonna bust the other three out, then I'm gonna call a claim in. Don't do my car like that.
But Jimmy,
so I know how you guys feel too.
Jimmy, also when you walk into the car, watch your surroundings. Look at people who are just parked in cars where you park. This happened not far from me just yesterday. A woman got a mug in the Costco parking lot, and Jimmy, they went immediately and tried to use the credit card, Jimmy, at a shoe store, at a Foot Locker, something like that. So y'all be very mamas, daddies, everybody be very careful when you're going out in any store. Just be careful. All right.
I'm telling you, they out there. I'm telling you, Big Pookie. The barber shops, the hoods, they're going to be the boosters in full effect right this weekend. I'm telling you. So be careful.
That's a good one.
We gave you that warning.
Yeah. All right.
And there you go, Clarence. Get your keys out before you get to your car. And in some places, guys, many of you may not know this, even in restaurants, if they have a security person, you can let them know. Can I get security? And the security will walk you to a certain portion towards your vehicle. If you request security, that's something a lot of people don't know that. They must, if you request, they must, I say must, help see you out to your vehicle. A lot of people don't even take advantage, don't know that exists. That's any restaurant, any store, if the security person is there, you let them know, hey, look, I think I saw somebody in the parking lot. Can I get an escort to my vehicle?
That's good.
That's something that they don't advertise, because they did, the security will never be in the store. They'll be walking people out all the time and doing that. So do that. That's the type of stuff you get on the Chop Shop. You get some good hood skills. You know what I'm saying? This is the Homeboy Network. The Chop Shop. Anyway, we up out here, man. Hey, you guys see I'm repping Angelina College today. Check it out. It's on the other side, Hal. What they say?
Alumni, not alumni, alumni. But we out.
We up out here. Peace. Chop Shop.
All right.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop.